Hey, Picks and Parlay family, it's me, Detroit Lenny, here with some Friday college basketball tourney talk to talk about March 22nd, day 2 of the tournament. We've already broke down Thursday. We're going to break down Friday, and I brought 3 of my good friends with me here, Mr. Tim Earl, Mr. Sean Higgs, and Mr. Cam Ross. So let's get into this. We're going to go through some picks. Everybody's going to give a side. Everybody's going to give a total. We're going to kind of do this rapid fire, and I'll also give you a little special we got going on at picksandparlays.net. as we go. So let's get into the first game. Tim's going to do New Mexico Lobos -2.5, taking on Clemson and the Tigers. Tim Earl, what you got?
Yeah, this should be a fun matchup to start it out. And I will say I have Clemson actually going pretty far in this tournament, and it's kind of a buy low spot on them after their loss in the ACC tournament. They got destroyed by Boston College. They lost by 21 in that game. Kind of a buy low spot, and then you see everybody super high on New Mexico. They've made a deep run, and I'm going Clemson in this one. We'll grab a little bit of a doggy here. I think they're a little bit more battle tested and ready to go. So start off the tourney. We'll grab a little bit of plus money with Clemson.
Okay, we can get behind that. Clemson money line here. Let's move on to Mr. Sean Higgs. Listen, Sean Higgs taking Longwood Lancers, Houston Cougars. Some of you might look at this and go, Jesus, -23.5 spread. But listen, I have learned a long time ago, we don't ever put any doubt on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sean Higgs. Take it away.
Yeah, so,
beat that intro, by the way. Beat that intro.
23.5 is a giant number. Now, do I think Houston's going to cover this number? I do. But I'm going to look at a first half here for this Houston team. Over 37.5 points. They scored 41 in their last game. That's against a good defensive team. Longwood is not that kind of program. And coming off a bad game like that, let's be honest here. Houston, even laying the 23-24 here, Houston's going to put up a 50 spot here in the first half. This 37.5, I do alternate double. I think Houston comes out statement time here and drops a 50-plus bomb on poor Longwood, who needed a miracle. I mean, sometimes teams have other teams' numbers. They beat High Point twice. We saw Washington State beat Arizona twice. We see Northwestern beat Purdue and take them over. Sometimes a team just kind of knows how to play you.
Right.
Not many teams know how to play Houston very good, especially not out of the Big South. Houston in a rout in the first half, 50 to 17 at the half. Let's go.
I thought he was going to say 50 to 3 or something like that. We're going to take the Cougars. First half, team total over 37.5. Here's the special we got going on real quick. Let me plug this real quick. March Madness Pass, $199. You can get any one of these handicappers of your choice. $199, all sports, all week, or I should say all week, all through the tournament, through May 8th, 2024. $199, any capper you want. Add somebody. Two for $299. That's what you get. All their pass, all sports, through the end of the tournament here. Let's bring in Mr. Cam Ross's pick here. He's going to talk Northwestern versus Florida Atlantic, and the Atlantic are -2.5. Cam Ross, Mr. Cam Ross. I mean, we're all misters at this point. Cam Ross, I can't say man, myth, legend, just Cam Ross.
Yeah, I like Florida Atlantic here. They were ranked number 10 in the country at one time this year. They made a huge run in the tournament last year. San Diego State got them with a buzzer beater in the Final Four. They were seconds away from a national championship berth. They returned so much from that team last year. They have hit their trials and tribulations this year. Bad loss to Temple in the conference tournament. Finished 25-8. I just think they're better than this Northwestern team. I think the depth and the veteran leadership for Florida Atlantic will be the difference in this game. I want to take the Owls to do enough to get the win and cover to punch their ticket into the weekend.
I like that. Little Florida Atlantic -2.5. Now we got through sides with everybody. Let's get into some totals here. We're going to go right back to Cam Ross. Western Kentucky versus Marquette and the Golden Eagles. I'm high on this Marquette team, but that's a whole different story. Total sits at 158.5. Cam Ross, you got a total for us?
Yeah, Marquette, they were top 10 in the country all year. They've looked great. I'm also high on this team. They lost to Yukon in the conference tournament, the number 1 overall seed. Western Kentucky has fared well this season. They have over 20 wins. They averaged almost 81 points a game. But I'm still going to take the under in this game. I think Marquette's going to be the best team Western Kentucky has seen all season. I think Marquette's going to pull away, wear them down, and it's going to be a slower game down the stretch. I don't think Western Kentucky will be able to score on the depth and talent of Marquette as they have all year. So I'm going to go with the under, as I think Marquette does enough to get the win and cover and move on as well.
Okay, there we go. A little under 158.5. And I like to take some unders here for at least the first round, just almost across the board. I like a lot of unders here in some college basketball, especially Thursday and Friday. But let's talk this next game here. Stetson Hatters. Well, I'll tell you what, Sean Higgs picked some Longwood, Stetson. I love it. Yukon Huskies minus 26.5. We don't care about that. Totals at 148.5. Sean Higgs, tell me what to do.
You know, it's weird because I come in with like two giant number one seeds, arguably the two best teams in the country. And I'm always like, we're going to go crazy and do dogs here. And you know, Ross, Ken was just saying, hey, Western Kentucky hasn't played anybody as good as Marquette. The crazy thing is Stetson has played a team as good as Yukon because they played Houston to start the season. They lost that one 79-48. And this total here sitting at 145.5, that game sailed. You know, that wasn't coming closest. I actually like the over in this one, though, because I think UConn's going to score 100 points. This team comes in just on an absolute roll. I mean, let's look at their losses. I mean, he had a freak loss against Seton Hall.
Right.
He lost at Kansas when they were playing good. And losing at Kansas, is that really a bad kind of thing?
Are you worried Are you worried about UConn? And just for food for thought, are you worried about UConn taking the foot off the gas at all?
No, because they're going to drop at 90 because that's how bad the Stetson defense is. So for them to take the foot off the gas, what is it going to be? Stetson's not scoring 40 points here. That's the way the foot comes off the gas. If it's 85-40, I think they'll kind of get to that 50-point range, which I think gets me over this total because I got UConn close to 100.
90, 100, yeah.
I think it's just one of those games are going to come out because I liken it to that Houston game, and Houston is probably a little better, more defensively there. But that one was 130 points, not even. I mean, and how is this one 15 points higher than that? So it's one of those where I see something where they're kind of asking to go the other way, and I'm going to go flip it and think UConn drops a 97 piece, and this is like a 97-60 kind of game. You know,
right?
I do think this is one of those years where the big faves. This kind of goes back to like old school 90s, early 2000 college basketball with like 4-year Letterman returning, where the number one seeds cover these 25 huge numbers because they're just that much better talent wise. So.
Fair enough. You know, these big spreads usually turn me right off against this game, but I never looked at the total here, and you make good sense here. UConn scored 90, probably covers 75 to 80% of this total. Over 145.5.
That'll be a team total too as well.
There you go. A little side action. I like. See. The man, the myth, the legend. Let's before we get into the last game, I got to remind everybody: March Madness Pass, $199. Any handicapper you want, any two you want, pair them together, $299. All sports, all week, all pass through the end of the tournament, April 8th. Now let's get into Mr. Tim Earle's going to finish us off here. Charleston Cougars versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Total 173.5. What are the Tide going to score 170? What's going on here, Tim Earle?
I was going to say, Higgs was mentioning how UConn might score a lot. I think the top two scoring teams of the first round are right here and right here. I think this one's going way over the total. And I think it comes with, I think Charleston has a shot to win this game outright. But you got Alabama coming into this one, the number one scoring team in the country. They're averaging 90.8 points a game. Pretty close to 100. And then they're 353 in defense. Just to give you an idea, I think there's 363 teams in college basketball. So they were one of the worst defenses. They're one of the best offenses. This is a team that is just going to run up and down the floor, and Charleston will run with them. Charleston was averaging 81 points a game and letting up 73.3. So, yeah, I'm taking the over. I could see both teams hitting 90 at least in this game. Maybe even like 95, 97, something, maybe in overtime. But taking the over in this one.
Okay, there we go. I love that when you think it's going to be a close game and you play the over because you know you're playing that overtime. It's going to come right into play here.
Or value.
Tim Earle taking that over 173. We're looking for that NBA type game here. Both teams maybe score 100. I would like that. I'm just saying. It is March Madness. Let's give you a little recap here real quick. Don't forget about March Madness Pass, $199, one capper, all sports, all the way through April 8th, the end of the tournament. Any two cappers, $299. Side action, we like Tim Earl, Clemson money line on the Tigers, starting it off, just bang, right out the run. Little plus money line there. Houston Cougars from Sean Higgs. First half team total over 37.5. Cam Ross's side, he's going Florida Atlantic. Here it is right here. Sorry. Florida Atlantic minus the 2.5. Now, total-wise, Cam Ross is taking Western Kentucky and Marquette under 158.5. He's the only one going under here. I don't hate that. Sean Higgs is taking Stetson Yukon over 145, mainly based on Yukon. And Tim Earl, Charleston, Alabama over 173.5, mainly based on Alabama. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate that's your Friday rundown college basketball. Picks and parlays. Stay tuned. Round 2 is coming up. Good luck unless you're against us. Take care.